Hello, Ardrey Kell students and families. I am Mr. Webb, the Career Development Coordinator here at Ardrey Kell High School, and today we are going to be talking about the 2024-25 Dual Enrollment Program. We're going to go through the process. There is going to be a lot of information covered here. This is going to be a long video. I'll try to make it as exciting as I can, but this is all information everyone needs. There have been a couple small changes, but it should help students out and myself with getting students enrolled in the program. So first off, I just want to start off by talking about what dual enrollment is. It is a chance for students to take college courses for free while they're still in high school. This is a great opportunity to get a jump start on general education classes. This is a good chance to explore career pathways that you may want to see if you're interested in before you go pay money for a four-year college. This program isn't really intended to be a GPA booster. This is a chance for students to kind of get a head start on college and figuring out what they want to do. So the students that are eligible to participate in the dual enrollment program are rising juniors, rising seniors, and graduating seniors. Graduating seniors are able to do the summer after they graduate at CPCC for free as well. And that's because the deadlines to enroll in that program happen while they're still in high school. So that gives them a chance to take a couple classes even after they graduate. Those classes won't go on their high school transcript, but they will have those on their college transcript that they can send to their four-year colleges if they would like to do that. So let's jump into some of the nuances and some of the important details about the program. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are pathways. So there are two different types of pathways. There are the college transfer pathways, which are pathways that allow students to take general education classes that will transfer to in-state public schools. So these classes will transfer to NC States and Appalachian States and all the other public schools. I do always tell students that they should check with private and out-of-state schools to see if these classes will transfer. The classes in the college transfer pathways are weighted as 5.0s or have the same weight as an AP course. So let's take a look at the arts transfer pathway, which is the most popular and most common pathway students take. It is probably the best pathway to take because it gives students the most options. So here is the arts transfer pathway. You can see there are English classes, there are art classes, more English classes, social studies classes, math classes, and science classes. So most of your gen eds at some four-year colleges will be looking at. The one thing I do want to point out with these pathways, so if you read English composition, you're allowed to take two courses below 3 credit hours each. For the humanities and fine arts, it says select 3 from below from at least 2 different subject areas. So a subject area would be like art and English. You couldn't take two, well, you could take 2 arts and 1 English. You could take 1 art, 1 communications, 1 music. You just couldn't take all 3 from the same subject area. It gets a little trickier down here with social and behavioral. So actually they changed this. So select any 3 courses below from at least 2 different subject areas. So you could do econ and two histories. Or you could do 2 econs and a psychology. Math, you can select any one of these. CPCC will let students continue on in higher math if they are in a college transfer pathway. So if you don't see a math class on there, you should still be allowed to take that math class. Here are the science classes. They allow you to take one from there. These would be a 4 credit hour course. So the one thing I do want to say, these classes do go on your high school transcript as well as your starting a college transcript. So the only way they count in your GPA though are if the classes are 3 credit hours or more. So you can see these classes are 3 credit hours, 3 credit hours. The math classes are 3 or 4 credit hours. And then down here, you have the ACA College Transfer Success, which is only 1 credit hour. So that class will still go on your transcript, but it will not figure into your GPA. CMS requires that the classes be 3 credit hours or more. So students will usually ask, be like, do I have to complete the pathway? No, you do not have to complete a pathway. You just have to take classes in the pathway. You are allowed to switch pathways every semester. So let's talk a little bit more about the other different pathways, which are the career and technology pathways. So the career and technical education pathways are pathways that give students an opportunity to kind of explore different careers. So there's usually only 4 or 5 classes in these pathways. We're going to look at the business pathway in just a second. These classes are usually weighted as 4.0s, so standard weight. But again, these are great opportunities to explore courses. There are a few instances where the CT pathways will have courses that are weighted as 5, and I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So here's the business administration pathway. You see this column here that says transfer. If it has a transfer or a yes in it, that means it will be weighted as a 5.0. If it does not, it'll be weighted as a 4.0. So just keep that in mind if you do look into a CT pathway and you are worried about your GPA. I tell students that these classes are probably more beneficial than even some of the ones that are weighted as 5, because this gives you a chance to explore things that you think you're interested in. And if you're not interested in them, then at least they're for free and they don't hurt you. Colleges will still see that these are college level courses. Just because they don't get the same weight doesn't mean that these aren't higher level courses. So colleges will still value these courses. So how many pathways can you be in? You could do a combination of 1 college transfer pathway and 1 CTE pathway if you'd like. You could do just 1 college transfer pathway and you do not have to choose a second pathway. Or you could do 2 CTE pathways. You can't do 3 pathways. You can't do 2 college transfer pathways. So just keep that in mind. You can do 1 college transfer pathway and nothing else, or you could do 1 college transfer pathway and a CTE pathway, or you could do 2 CTE pathways. The college transfer pathways require a 2.8 unweighted GPA or test scores, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So if you have a 2.8 unweighted GPA, you are good to go for the college transfer pathways. The CT pathways, you really just need a recommendation for me for most of them. There will be some down here that do also require the 2.8 unweighted GPA requirement. And then the pathways in yellow are brand new pathways that will be starting in the fall 2024. We do not have the updates yet on what classes will be in those pathways. That's why you can't click on them quite yet to see what's in there. But all the other pathways, you can click on them to see what courses are available in those pathways. All right. some updates. Classes are online and in person. There are hybrids. Most of our students try to search for those online classes. We'll talk about registering for classes in just a little bit. There is a checkpoint quiz, which is step 6 in the process. They are still using their standard procedure, but this will change to a Brightspace class that students can access, everyone can access. You only have to complete the checkpoint one time, so all new students will have to complete that. But if you're returning CPC student and have already completed that checkpoint, you do not have to worry about that step. Information sessions, they are still doing information sessions. There is a video that if you can't make one of the sessions on WebEx at 4:30, they do have a recording, and we'll talk about that in the process as well. So eligibility requirements, we've talked about that a little bit, but just to be clear, you must be a junior or senior AK student who's on track for graduating, and rising juniors cannot start classes until fall semester of their junior year. So I just want to keep that in mind. We get rising juniors that ask if they can take classes in the summer. You cannot start until the fall semester. Again, must have a 2.8 unweighted GPA for the college transfer pathways or submit benchmark test scores, which we'll take a look at those in just a second. If you are taking classes in person, you must be able to provide your own transportation to the CPCC campus. And again, with the school being as big as it is, parking at AK is not guaranteed. Juniors, I doubt there will be parking next year for you, since the senior class will be fully intact still. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at the benchmark scores. So here are the benchmark scores. You can use PSAT scores, you can use SAT scores, and then pre-ACT and ACT scores. CPCC does offer a RISE placement test that I heard is a very challenging test, but you can schedule testing there if you want to. If you don't have the other test scores, you can jump over to CPCC and try to take that test. Looks like they do take some AP test scores as well. So if you don't have the GPA, there are options to still get into one of the college transfer pathways. Students also ask about getting an associate's degree by the time they graduate high school. Usually we get about 1 to 3 kids that do get to that. But I always tell kids it's not necessary if you're going to a 4-year college. If you're going to a 4-year college and you have that associate's degree, schools may look at you as a transfer student, and then that might affect financial aid and other things with admissions. So I always tell students to ask colleges how they would view a high school student coming in with an associate's degree, because every school might be different on that. But again, it's not necessary to get an associate's degree. Your goal is to, take gen ed classes that will transfer, so you can maybe get a year and a half of college knocked out. You could get close to 2 years, but again, you don't need the associate's degree, because if those classes transfer, you're going to get those hours anyways. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. All right. This link here is to show you how to schedule placement testing. That'll take you directly to CPCC's website. All right, now I want to talk about higher level math. So we do have students that, have completed AP, Calc AB, and BC, and they're looking to take, Calc 3 or linear equations linear algebra and differential equations. So those are 3 higher level maths that are offered at at CPCC. If you guys are interested in those classes, you just need to send me your test scores, your AP calculus test scores. They won't let you sign up for the class until they have those test scores, because they got to give you the credit for those classes. Students can also take Math 271 and 272 at CPCC, as at this point that would be your elective math. So again, for students to be eligible to take 271, you have to have at least an unweighted GPA of a 3.5 and a C or better in North Carolina pre-calc course. So that is how a lot of our kids get into Math 271 and 272. There's a place on your AK application where you can indicate if you would like to take higher level math. A new thing I do also want to talk about that's not shown on this website is physics. A lot of students tried taking physics 151 at CPCC, but as of this past August, you have to either take CPCC's pre-calc, or you have to have that AP Calc AB or BC credit to take their physics 151 or higher. They will not take honors pre-calc from us as the prerequisite for physics. So I just want everyone to keep that in mind. I highly recommend probably just doing physics at AK. You can do AP physics or honors physics if you're concerned about getting a physics class. All right, the American History cohort. This is a big one. So this is the only graduation requirement that we allow students to do at CPCC. We had 240 students participate in the cohort this year. You do have to take two classes, History 131 and 132. You would do 131 in the fall and then 132 in the spring, to meet the high school graduation requirement. So you do have to take one more class to get the graduation requirement, but they do count, that both classes do count as an AP weight. So that's why students like to do that. You have to be in the arts transfer pathway to do this cohort. There is a place on the application, the AK application, where you can indicate if you would like to do the cohort. So we'll talk about that again in just a minute. The cohort is only for rising juniors. So seniors, you guys should be done with your American History graduation requirement. So again, this is the only graduation requirement. We do not let seniors take graduation requirements at CPCC their senior year, just because we have seen seniors fall through the cracks. And we did have one instance where a senior did not make it to graduation because, and this was years ago, but so seniors, you got to do you probably only have one or two graduation requirements left at AK. You can do those first semester of your senior year, and then you can take all of second semester at CPCC if you would like. So, so no math graduation requirements, no social studies graduation requirements, English graduation requirements are allowed at CPCC your senior year. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Foreign language has been a popular topic of conversation. Students can take foreign language classes at CPCC if you're in one of the college transfer pathways. You just have to take a placement test at CPCC to see what level you would place into. This link here will take you to that, and you can reach out to the chair on how you would set that up. But it's not necessarily equivalent to like Spanish 3. If you test and you place, you might be in Spanish 111 or 181, whatever they see as fit for you. Colleges will still look at that as a third year of foreign language, because you probably did 1 and 2 here at AK. And then you went on and took a third year at the college level. So that is an option for students taking foreign language classes. All right, some other information. This link here will show you what AP courses are equivalent to at CPCC. So you can click on that. And then this is what CPCC courses are equivalent to at other North Carolina universities. So you can click on that link to see that. Students, you may be asked to send transcripts to universities you're applying to. So please just click on this link. That'll take you to the CPCC transcript page, and that shows you how you send your official CPCC transcripts for your colleges. So just keep that in mind. If students ask, I will refer you right back to AKBC3 and just be like, the link is on AKBC3. So keep that in mind. All right, there we go. We're about halfway through. Now we're going to get into the application process. These are all the steps. This is going to open on Monday, February 12th. I can start submitting kids on that day. So the first thing I want to clarify is the difference between enrollment and registered. So enrollment is you are enrolled into the dual enrollment program. All right, so you're a part of it. Being enrolled in the program does not mean you have to register for classes. It would make sense that if you enroll in the program that you do go on to register for classes. But if you're enrolled in the program, it is not required to go on to register for classes. But that is the difference, being enrolled in the program and then registering for classes. So you're going to hear me talk about that a lot, okay? So AK students new to dual enrollment must complete steps 1 through 6 by March 20th for summer and fall priority registration. We'll get to a chart in just a second that shows when students can register for classes. Priority registration will begin on April 15th for summer and May 6th for fall. There'll be another opportunity to enroll for spring and summer 2025 at a later date. So the final deadline to enroll into dual enrollment program is April 11th for summer and May 9th for fall. Again, these are just when the enrollment periods close for AK students. If you're enrolled by those dates, you can register for classes up until they start. So I don't want students to get confused with that. Be like, oh, I didn't register for classes by May 9th. That's okay. You just need to be enrolled into the dual enrollment program by May 9th, and then you can register for classes up until August if you want, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, so here are the summer and fall processing charts. You must have all steps completed by the submission date to be eligible to register. Submission dates on the left determine when you can register. So if we look at this, so if you have all your steps completed, you get them completed anywhere between February 12th and March 20th, 2024. I will get you processed and you'll be able to begin registration on April 15th for summer classes. If you don't get all your stuff in by March 20th, then you have another chance to get all your stuff in by March 27th. If you get in by March 27th, you'll be processed to register on April 22nd, 2024. And then the final deadline, you got to be in by April 11th, and then CPCC should have you processed by May 6th. But know that summer classes start May 20th. So if you're waiting until these last two, you're probably not going to have classes to choose from. So I'm going to highly encourage everyone to get in by this March 20th date. All right. So again, final deadline to enroll for summer is April 11th. I will not be making exceptions to that. If you do not have things done by April 11th, then you probably don't deserve to be registering for classes for the summer. All right, fall deadlines. Again, we're going to use March 20th as a deadline just because we're running up against spring break. I want to have all you guys processed well before then. So if you have all your stuff in by March 20th, you'll be able to register on May 6th when fall registration opens. And then now we go up until April 10th. You'll be able to register by May 13th. And then if you're enrolled by April 18th, you'll be able to register on May 20th. And then anything after that, you're kind of rolling the dice. You'll be able to register on May 27th or 10 business days after May 27th, depending on when you get your stuff in. So again, I'm just going to target March 20th. If you want to have the ability to register for classes you want, try to have all your stuff in by March 20th. I saw a lot of students wait until the last minute, and then they're like, hey, there aren't any classes available. So just make sure you are aware of that. All right. Here are the CPCC course start dates and end dates. So summer full term starts May 20th, ends July 16th. They do 4-week sessions as well. So the first 4-week session goes from May 20th to June 14th. And then second summer, June 17th to July 16th. Fall full term is August 12th through December 10th. And then they do 8-week sessions, short sessions. The first one for that is August 12th to October 4th. And then the second 8-week is October 14th to December 10th. So the one thing I do want to make sure students are aware of, so as you can see, these summer classes start before students are done at AK. You have to schedule your CPCC classes around your AK schedule. We're not going to ask teachers to let you out of class. So make sure you are aware of that. If this first summer session does not work, then you definitely have the second summer session where you shouldn't have as many conflicts. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And then for fall, you need to make sure you realize that CPCC classes start 2 weeks before AK starts. So if you're on vacation or anything like that, I'd probably wait and do maybe the October 14th short session. So just keep all that in mind. All right, now the actual steps. All right, so this is kind of a new process. CPCC is letting us submit students for the school year. So if you submit now, you'll be covered all the way through summer 2025. I'm going to process probably everyone as that. So you guys don't have to worry about completing the AK application every semester. Returning students should only complete step 5, which is the AK application, once a school year, or if they would like a pathway change, which would happen prior to the semester beginning. Students still need to complete step 3 every semester. So CPCC for summer and fall will only take transcripts that are up to date after February 1st. So you guys should be good for that now. So yeah, just make sure you complete step 3 every semester. That is usually the biggest holdup on students being able to register for classes, is that they don't have their transcript submitted. So All right, let's roll through some of these steps. Step one is not mandatory. It's recommended. You'll hear things from CPCC side. Just know that RAK rules trump their rules. So you might hear some different lingo. Just make sure you refer back to this video because AK rules are the ones that, are going to hold true. So there might be some different deadlines CPC says, but we have to have different AK deadlines just so we can have everything squared away before your guys' schedules come out. So yeah, you can click on any of these buttons to get to info sessions. This is just a general 30-minute video on CPCC side of things. Step two is for all new students to the dual enrollment program. You have to just complete this step one time. This is how you'll get your CPCC ID number. So there's CFNC instructions here and a CFNC tutorial to help show you how to do the application process for CPCC. Then after that, while you're still in CFNC, you can go and request your transcript through that website. This link will take you right to CFNC. You just hover over apply, click to college, and then there's an application hub where you can request a transcript. Complete the fields accurately. Try to complete everything using the same name for all your applications, just so PowerSchool matches up, because everything CFNC has usually pulls from PowerSchool. So if names get messed up, sometimes that'll delay sending your transcript through. So try to match your names with what's in PowerSchool. After you get your CPCC ID number, you can go and activate your account. They have a lot of new security procedures on there. So you can claim your CPCC account, and then you got to set up Duo Mobile, which is a verification system they use, so you can so your account doesn't get hacked. There's instructions for that here. And then I don't have access to this side of CPCC or any of CPCC really. So if you guys are having trouble with the login procedure, I highly recommend calling the help desk. Here's their number. They're very friendly. They will help you work through. I would just have your computer up and your phone accessible so you can access Duo Mobile and your account. And then that'll get your CPCC email set up too. The one thing I want to say about CPCC email is that CPCC is going to communicate with you through that email. You're going to get updates from your teachers through that email. It's not going to go to your personal. It's going to go to your CPCC email. I highly recommend too, if you have any issues with your classes, to use your CPCC email to contact your teachers. They'll reply quicker to an email from your CPCC account than any other account. So keep that in mind. All right, step 5 is the AK application and the contract. These are mandatory for me. If you want to be processed for the program, I need all this information so I can complete a Google form for every student that does this. Again, you really only have to complete this during this time if you want to be eligible for the whole year. The only other time you would have to complete this form is if you want a pathway change at the beginning of every semester. So this form will open back up again in probably October. And that's your chance to let us know if you want a pathway change. But we do not do pathway changes during the semester. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's take a look at the AK application. It's a long form, but it's a necessary form. So this is just a reminder on some of the dates. Here's just student information. I asked if you watched this video. All students are going to be required to watch the video. I am not going to answer questions until you have confirmed that you've watched this video, because I think we will cover just about every possible thing in this video. So keep that in mind. I do ask the question this year on what school you'll be attending next year or plan on attending. So 2024 graduate, or I plan to attend Ardrey Kell, or I plan to attend Valentine Ridge. All students should know where they are planning on going next year. So just let us know that. That'll help not only us out, but also the new school out. So keep that in mind. Then just your information. You won't be able to complete this form until you have your CPCC ID number. So make sure you have that before you complete this. Birth date. Here I ask if you're a returning dual enrollment student. So if you're a returning student that's taking classes, you can click yes on that. And then you can let me know if you're making a pathway change or if you don't know what pathway you're in. So if you don't know what pathway you're in, that's fine. You'll just go down at a later date on this, or at a later point on this form, to let me know what pathway you want. This is your current grade level. So at the time you're doing the application. So rising juniors, you would click 10th, and then rising seniors, you would click 11th, and then graduating seniors, you would click 12th. I need your unweighted GPA. I think you can see that in Naviance. That should be up to date in the next couple days. Here you can let me know what your CPCC login and password are. This is not required, but if you tend to lose things and you're worried about it, you can put it here, and then this allows me to give it to you if for some reason you lose your information. Just numbers, and then yes, your personal email address. Please make sure you enter this correctly. I do like to have parent guardian information just in case. All right, registration options. So the first thing you're going to do is select what semester selection you want to be a part of. So the options are, so only graduating seniors, your only option is to do summer 2024. You guys can't get fall for free, so sorry about that. But it is a great opportunity to still get the summer semester for free if you're graduating. Rising seniors, you can do summer 2024 and the 2024 school year. If you don't want to do summer, then rising seniors, you'll just say, I want to start fall 2024. And then all my rising juniors should select this last box. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Then you are going to let me know what pathway you want, your first pathway. So it can be anything. Here are the college transfer pathways at the top, and then the CT pathways follow behind that. I let you know again which ones require 2.8 GPA. So make sure you're paying attention to that. If you don't have a 2.8 unweighted GPA, then you will get kicked out of that pathway. And then after you choose your first one, you can choose a second one, but again, not required. If you don't want a second pathway, just click you do not want a second pathway. And then you can see I took off the college transfer pathways because you can only choose a CT pathway as your second pathway. So lots of pathways to choose from. So choose wisely. All right. And then here is where you can let me know if you have a higher math or interest in the physics. If you are interested in the higher level math, for 271, you must have the 3.5 unweighted GPA and pre-calc score. So you can let me know there. Again, I would probably recommend taking AP Calc here. Our teachers are fantastic. I think it prepares you probably a little bit better. So again, your choice, because at that point, your math classes are an elective. So you are good. And then if you do want Math 273 or higher, you must submit your AP test scores to me. And then again, for 151, I need AP Calc scores. So you can submit those here if you'd like, or you can email them to me and let me know. All right, and then here's the American History cohort. This is where you let me know if you want to participate in the American History cohort. Again, this is only for rising juniors. So again, I would do all your research on what's better, AP classes or taking these two classes. I can't guarantee everyone will get into the cohort this year. Like I said, they let 240 in, but at some point they could cap that because there's just not enough teachers. So if you are interested in this, please get in and complete all the steps as soon as you can. All right. And then this piece is for all CPC students. If you do get registered for classes, this gives you a chance to let us know what classes you want dropped. You can just put them in order you want dropped. Okay. And then just a certification letting us know that you agree with everything. All right, let's go back to this. And then the AK contract I need a copy of, you can email me this. This goes over the grading process, just goes over what you're committing to. So step 6 is the checkpoint quiz we talked about earlier. Again, this is only for first-time students. If you are a returning student, you do not need to complete this. But if you do not complete this, it could hold up your registration. So this is how they're currently doing it, but this could change in the future as they're looking to go to Brightspace to get this piece knocked out. So step 7, take Piedmont placement test. That's only if necessary if you don't have the 3.5 GPA or you're looking to do a foreign language. I'm sorry, 2.8 GPA, not 3.5. I was on the math still. So if you don't have the unweighted 2.8 and you want to take the RISE placement test, you can schedule a placement test. Or if you need to do the foreign language placement test, you can sign up there. This step is not mandatory for everybody. And then just keep an eye on your CPCC email and your student information page. This is where you'll get a lot of updates from CPCC. They should let you know when you can register through your CPCC email, so keep all that in mind. Step 9 is a tutorial for online classes. They use Brightspace, so this is where you can become familiar with taking online classes. I highly recommend everybody going through that so you're familiar on how Brightspace works. You won't be able to get into Brightspace until about the day the class starts. So that gives you a chance to get up to date there. All right, and then step 10, if you've done all the steps, you can then start registering for classes when registration opens. So this is a registration video that shows how to get into your My College and navigate that. Again, I don't have access to your My College. The best I can do is search for sections for you. So this is what searching for sections look like. And this is a page you guys can get to. So let's do a pretty popular class, English 111, and I'm going to search. So over here you have filters. So let's say, I'm going to use spring as an example. But when you guys do it, you guys will filter probably summer and fall. But those aren't up yet. So, all right, so here's English 111, view available sections. So there's a lot, so that's why it's taken a second to load. So this right here shows you one section, all right? So English 111/B11. So here it shows you how many seats are available, 0 seats available out of 27. It meets Monday and Wednesdays from 12:30 to 1:45 at the Central Campus, Levine Technology Building, room 3123. All right. And it starts March 11th and goes to May 7th. This looks like it's a blended class with the B, so there will be some online work to be done. So, but it looks like they meet every Monday and Wednesday, and then some of it will be online. Usually all the online work is asynchronous, but yeah, your teacher would let you know that piece of it when you start. So again, there's going to be a bunch of sections like that. Let's scroll down. So a lot of our students are interested in fully online classes. So here's what an online class looks like. It's going to have an N there. Their N lets you know that it's fully online. A C means there's a co-requisite with that. So this is for students that might need English support. You're going to have to sign up for English 011 as well. So you want to look for online courses with an N and that probably don't have a C, unless you do need English support, which is totally fine. So, but again, for this spring class, it started January 8th and goes through March 1st. Again, you won't see any times on it because it's asynchronous. So you just have to get online and start working on January 8th. I would like to mention for online classes that there is a verification assignment that you need to complete. If you don't complete that within the first day or two, you will be kicked out of the class and you could receive a failing grade. So make sure if you're doing an online class, you're in there on that first day, you're doing what you're supposed to. And then you can work at your own pace to get it done. So you guys can get to this through your My College account and search for different courses. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer questions about registering for classes. But that is the general gist on how to kind of sort out what classes look like. Student fees. Student fees are only required for summer. CMS will still pick up your tuition for the summer, but students will have to pay fees during the summer. During fall and spring semesters, fees will be covered. Student fees will be covered, but there might be course fees. So course fees usually apply to science classes that may have a lab fee. So just make sure you pay attention to your fees. CPCC will go in probably a couple days before to wipe out any fees. But if you have fees left and you don't know what they are, just reach out and we'll check with CPCC. You can contact their office if you have questions about the fees as well. Then I encourage all students to get their CPCC ID. You would have to go to campus to do that, but you can click on that link and it'll show you where you can pick up your student ID. If you're going to campus to take in-person classes, then you can pick up a parking permit and click on that link for parking information. And then books, that kind of switches every semester on how they do books, but I encourage you going to the CPCC bookstore to get the book you need. Dual enrollment students are offered a $50 credit for every class they're in for books. So they don't pick up the total cost of books, but they will kick in $50 for dual enrollment students. So you can click on those links to see where the bookstores are. And then again, here's the link for if you need to send transcripts to colleges. All right, and then we're on our final steps. Here are just program policies for AK students. So this is a very important piece, so please pay attention closely. You cannot enroll in more than 10 total classes per school year between CPCC, NCVPS, and AK. NCVPS is an online platform mostly for students who take foreign language classes that are not offered at AK. So 10 total classes, what does that look like? So if you do a full schedule at AK, that's 8 classes right there. So that would leave you room to take 1 per semester at CPCC. Rising juniors are now allowed to do 1 block of early release or late arrival if they are registered for a CPCC class. So if you drop your schedule down to 6 classes, then you can take 2 a semester at CPCC. Only 3 credit hour courses count towards this total. So if you're taking one of those 1-hour courses, that does not count towards your 10 class limit. Seniors may exceed this limit if they are getting close to an associate's degree, but you must come meet with me if that is your plan. And this is only open to seniors going over that limit. So students can take 2 3 to 4 hour courses during the summer session between junior and senior year. So taking 2 courses over the summer does not count in this total of 10. Summer is its separate thing. So you can still get a couple classes during the summer if you would like. This rule does not apply to graduating seniors. You guys can take as many as you want because these will not go in your high school transcripts. So if you're trying to knock out 3 or 4 during the summer, you can do that the summer after you graduate. So here's a chart just kind of explaining. So if you did 3 blocks at AK, you can take 2 courses per semester. If you take 4 blocks at AK per semester, you can take 1 course per semester. So make sure you guys are very familiar with that. If you guys break the rule, you could be kicked out of the program and not let back in. So make sure you follow these rules closely. All right, and final reminders, you must select a specific academic pathway and you must complete classes in that pathway. You do not have to complete a pathway, but CPCC requires all students to be in a pathway. So please do not try and go scheduling classes outside of your pathway. There is no guarantee that you'll get the courses you want. Again, that's why getting in on that priority registration is very important. All graduation requirements must be taken at AK. The only exception is the American History cohort for juniors. Attendance at every CPCC class is required. Again, we talked about the enrollment verification activity for the online classes. Please make sure you complete that. I don't want students taking an F for missing 1 assignment and being kicked out of the class. That's a CMS rule, so please make sure you do that. Make sure you're aware of CPCC's academic calendar and CMS academic calendar. They do not line up, so make sure you are aware of both calendars. CPCC courses usually begin 1 to 2 weeks ahead of CMS classes for the fall and spring semesters, so make sure you're aware of that. CPCC may meet on certain holidays, or they may meet on days CMS has off, but CPCC doesn't honor that day. So just make sure, again, you are aware of the calendars. Seniors who do not take any classes their second semester at AK must take at least 2 courses at CPCC to meet minimum requirements required by the state. So we do have students that do all their second semester classes at CPCC, and they don't have to graduate early. So do not think you have to be a mid-year graduate to do this. I actually recommend students staying a student at AK so they can graduate with their class. Plus, this will allow you to take classes in the summer after you graduate for free. If you're a mid-year grad, then you'll get that spring semester, but then you won't get that summer semester because you'll be on your own at that point. So keep all that in mind. Transportation we talked about. It is up to you to get to CPCC if you're taking in-person classes. You can't remain on AK's campus if you're taking online classes. There's just not enough space. All right, grades. We talked about how college transfer pathways are weighted and career technical pathways are weighted. We talked about students will fail in online class if they do not complete the work. We talked about needing 3 credit hours or more to have the course figure in your GPA. CPCC sends me a report at the end of the semester, so you won't see updates in PowerSchool until I get the final grades. I have to enter what CPCC has on the report, so if you have any grade appeals, you need to take that up with your teacher in CPCC. I have to enter what's on that report, so please keep that in mind. Again, it is up to you guys to check with out-of-state universities on what CPCC courses will transfer. And then here's the conversion for CPCC grades. So I only get a letter grade on my report. So CMS has told me to enter A's as 95s, B's as 85s, and so forth down the line. An incomplete will get a 55 until we get a completed grade. There are drop dates and withdrawal dates. If you drop the first 10% of the class, that will come off your high school transcript and you won't be penalized. If you drop between 10% and 25%, that is called a withdrawal, and you have to receive a WF on your transcript if you get a W on my CPCC report. A WN is the one you don't want. That is if you don't complete the electronic verification assignment. So make sure you do that on day 1. If not, you could potentially get a 55. And then expenses. Tuition is covered by CMS for all semesters. You just need to make sure you're aware of the fee structure. Again, you might have more fees during the summer than fall and spring, so just keep that in mind. We talked about the $50 credit, and then students are responsible for any additional costs. So that would be those course fees. So that is about it. I know that was about an hour long. I know it's a lot of information. It's necessary information. I wanted to put out consistent information so everybody has it. So once you watch this video, if there are still questions you have, I encourage the students to take responsibility of this, because this is a good way for them to get ready for four-year college. They're going to have to take ownership of this. So I will meet with students one-on-one if they have questions. We'll have over 600 kids in this program, so I can't meet with families, but students can pop in during their lunch, and I'm happy to meet with them. If there are any other questions parents have, you can shoot me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Just know this is a big program. If you struggle with organization skills or following directions, then I would probably recommend not doing this program. But if you are a highly motivated student, this is a great program to take advantage and get a head start on college stuff. So thank you for your time. Have a great day and good luck with the process.